Hi everyone, I am delighted to be here with Gogo Ekhaya Esima, and I feel hugely blessed to have been introduced to you, Ekhaya, via the Crazy Wise guys. And we were just saying, we feel like we've known each other for ages, even though we've not actually spoken before because we've been connected online. And your story is so powerful, and your journey is just incredible, and I'm so grateful to you for being here and being part of this campaign. And I know you're emerging proud in a huge way in the world, which is due for release. Your story is, you're one of the main characters on the Crazy Wise documentary, aren't you, due for release? So it's incredible, and I'm really excited for everybody to hear about your story. But I know you wanted to introduce this interview with a little prayer, which is amazing. So I'd like to hand over to you.
Thank you so much for having me here. And I just want to, at this time, give honor to all the divine spirits that walk with us, to the great spirit of the earth, the water, the fire, and the air, to the great mother, the great fathers, to our ancestors, to the north, the south, the east, and the west. I honor all of you at this time, and I'm so thankful to be in the presence of this beautiful project and interview, and grateful for the divine spirits for bringing us together. And may the message here be heard and extended out into the world and touch the hearts of many beautiful souls that are experiencing an emergence or thinking about their emergence and coming out of their own spiritual closet. So I'm just so blessed and happy to be here, and I give honor to you and your divine ones that walk with you for leading the way in this beautiful, beautiful project, and I feel so blessed to be a part of it.
Beautiful, thank you, Ekhaya. It feels really emotional to me, to be honest, to be here with you, because your story is so resonant with my sort of family situation, and I know so many people have already said that they really resonate with the birth of a healer when they experience a spiritual awakening. So I'm looking forward to hearing all about your story. But I know you just wanted to explain something that happens to you sometimes when you're in the flow.
Sometimes when I'm talking, especially about spiritual things, you know, I share this body with my divine spirits and my ancestors. And so sometimes you might see me move a little bit, or even burp. And burping is not to be alarmed, or it's not a rude thing in my tradition. It's actually a sign of the spirits showing their presence. So if you hear me burping or moving or my voice changing just a little bit, that's just the sign of my spirits.
Wonderful. I love that, and I hope you're all here, because I just think this is about normalizing everything. You know, we're in human bodies. Things happen. Kundalini energy moves around, and we need to expel stuff. And it's so normal and natural, and everything has just got so. We're kind of ashamed of everything, of every part of being human, and that's something that we really need to change. So, yeah, bring it on.
It's all me.
Absolutely, yeah. So I wonder if you just start, Ekhaya, by explaining a bit of your background to people who maybe haven't seen your story as part of the Crazy Wise film. And I know you were born and grew up in America, is that right? But you have your ancestral heritage is South African. But if you could just explain what kind of led you to doing what you're doing now.
Okay. So yes, I was born here in North America in the Midwest, and raised by parents that were born here, African-American parents. And throughout my life, I experienced all kinds of different things, different kinds of trauma. I suffered from abuse and abuse in relationships as I got older. And through that journey, I was always a very much a sensitive soul. And I always used to dream and kind of really be in touch with nature as a child. And I moved away from that. And so with the accumulated traumas that I experienced through my life as I became older, in my teenage years, I became more depressed. I didn't have anyone to talk to about those things and release those traumas that I went through. And I carried that weight on my shoulders and on my back for a large part of my life, all my life actually, until things kind of exploded. And through that journey, I was hospitalized. I was diagnosed with several different mental health disorders, or illnesses as they call them here, and put on tons of medication and was in and out of the hospital, very suicidal. I had many suicidal attempts. And through that experience, I survived. I survived all of those things. And after that journey, I was looking for as to why I was here. I was like, there's some kind of reason that I'm here after surviving all of these things. So I started to open up to spirit again. I was always a very spiritual person. I was raised in the church, the Christian church, and had my own direction, was very dedicated to that. And then some things happened within my church, which were also traumatic. Is that okay? Is that okay? Can you hear me?
We just lost the connection a little bit there, but yeah, we're fine. You're back.
Okay, good. So through those experiences, trauma in the church, I removed myself completely. During my late teenage years, early. And again, I was in and out of the hospital, went through those things, and was looking for something, for a reason why I was here. And I was always really drawn to healing modalities of traditional ways. So I started to look into that, and I got, books and studied about different indigenous cultures. And I was very, 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 very much pulled in. My heart space, the energy was so pulled in, and I couldn't think about anything else but that. I mean, I was working as a peer at the time.
Okay.
I got a job after I got out of the hospital. I met a beautiful group of people that were peer specialists and counselors here in the United States that took me under their wing and helped me to see that there was the possibility of recovering was actually a possibility, with the doctors here.
Yeah. Do you mind me asking you, Ekhaya, just to rewind a little bit, to just give an example of what types of things you were experiencing when you were labelled? Were you hearing voices? What type of things were you experiencing?
Sure. I was actually hearing voices, and I was seeing things that other people couldn't see. And so the first thing that really caught my attention one time, and this is not in the film, was when I was in my room alone, and I could feel something completely take over my body and start to work through my throat chakra. And I didn't understand what it was. It just overcame into my body, and I literally freaked out. It was like, oh my gosh, something's attacking me, but nothing's here. And so from that point on, I started to hear voices, and then I would see my deceased father, who passed away, who was also an abuser.
Wow.
So he would just show up in the middle of my everyday happenings or in my room at night, and it really, really just shifted my perspective. I didn't know what to do, who to turn to at the time. So yeah, definitely hearing voices and seeing things.
Thank you. And you were
having commanding voices that commanded me myself. So
right. I just find it amazing that the more and more people I talk to, the more patterns are so similar. Whatever part of the world we're from, or lineage we're from. It's people are experiencing the same kinds of things, in relation to trauma, and also that kind of kick into existential questioning that you described, like, trying to find out why you were here and what's it all about. So you were given the message that you were not able to recover by the medical system. Yeah. But you decided to look for an alternative way. Is that right? Ooh, we've got a little unstable connection going on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I decided to start. Yeah. I started to look at things into indigenous culture, and was very pulled and drawn to it spiritually. And one day I was listening to a blog talk radio show. There's a lady that was super, super excited and happy, and she was telling beautiful things about traditional African culture. And after a few months of listening to her, I decided to reach out to her and get a reading, an ancestral divination or reading. And I had all these questions, written out on a piece of paper, and I said, okay, this is what I want to ask this reader. I wasn't used to spending my money on that sort of thing, but I just thought, well, it sounds like an interesting idea, and maybe she can help me get some direction and guidance in my life. Heal. And so when I did that, she told me about my life completely. She just asked for my first name and last name, my paternal lineage and my maternal lineage is their last names. And she used an ancient oracle technique called throwing the bones. And when she did that, she told me about my life from childhood into the present moment, and even things that I didn't know.
Wow.
And I was stunned. By the end of the call, I was completely in tears. We were on Skype, actually. And I was in tears and overwhelmed because everything that I'd written down on the sheet of paper to ask her, she actually said before I asked it.
Wow.
And so one of my last questions on that sheet of paper was, am I supposed to initiate as a healer? I mean, I felt the calling. I felt the pull.
I got shivers.
And I didn't get to answer that question, but one of the last things she said, you're supposed to be doing what I'm doing. You're supposed to be healer. You're supposed to initiate into the path. And that rocked my world. Everything up until that moment made sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I can so relate to that.
Yes, it's just like all the stars began to align and appear. Although they were aligning the whole time, it was like the first sight of being able to see it. And it was a beautiful and a powerful moment.
Wow, beautiful. And that just gives people so much hope, doesn't it? There'll be people watching this who are in the same situation that you were in, hospitalized and on medication, and that there's hope. There is hope for recovery for everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
I was on several different medications, about, oh gosh, at least over 10 different medications every day.
Wow. And how did that affect you?
Antipsychotics, antidepressants.
How were you functioning? Did that really affect your functioning?
Oh, it absolutely affected my functioning. I was not in touch, just completely out of it, and very, drowsy. And it's just like it's just kind of like I was put out of trying to put out of my misery, but still in the misery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wow.
Very diluted.
So you became a peer counselor, and you had the call and the initiation to be a healer. So what happened from then on?
Okay, so I continued to do my work as a peer counselor. Usually in this African tradition, the Sangoma tradition, we would go to our teacher's home, and traditionally you would leave your life and go through your initiation process. But that's kind of impossible here on this side of the world and on the other side of the world, So what I did is I was able to keep my job, and I went to do my training every weekend. So every weekend, every Friday after work, I would leave my job as a peer counselor and go train doing my spiritual work on the weekends and any vacation that I had or any other time that I had off, holidays to go through my initiation. But initiation was the entire time,
And
during
what did that involve? What did initiation involve doing?
initiation involved really breaking down of who I thought I was, all the facade, the ideas, the ego,
Yeah.
all of those things, breaking through that, and seeing who I truly was, the true nature of my being, the true nature of myself. So really connecting to the natural wisdom, the ancient wisdom, learning how to cleanse myself spiritually so that I didn't have those negative voices that were interfering in my life. Learning how to cleanse those voices, learning how to cleanse those spirits that were attached to me at the
Wow.
time.
So
And
would you describe the voices that you were hearing as spirit attachments or your own kind of inner thoughts?
mm,
Or both? Kind
I
of.
believe it was both of them. For
Yeah.
me, it was both.
Yeah.
Some of it was, of course, my own inner thoughts. There was energies in coming to play and feed off of that. And
Mm.
so there was definitely spiritual attachments, things that, especially through abuse, when you experience some kind of traumatic abuse, especially as a child, you take on that person's their
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
And so with that, I didn't know that. I carried that through my whole life, and with many other people, many other abusers, many other things that happened in my life. And so
Mm.
all of those were spiritual attachments and cords that needed to be released from my
Mm.
light.
Mm.
So it
Mm.
was just really interference, mostly interference. And yeah, I agree that it's definitely on both parts. So.
Mm. So you had like an energetic cleansing as part
Mm-hmm.
of the initiation. Did you also have any kind of psychological therapy in relation to the trauma? Is it like an integrated approach, or is it all kind of managed through energy work?
It's all managed through spiritual shamanic work. There wasn't there the ritual that was taught, the things that were taught ritualistically were my anchor, were my therapy.
Yeah.
It helped me go inside and look at that, but not look at it by myself, look at it with someone holding my hand. My
Mm.
teacher was there to hold my hand
Mm.
through those experiences. So almost like I think people are very familiar with like shamanic journeying,
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
you go through a journey.
Yeah.
Sort of like that, but um, just on a very extensive and deep level. So sometimes we would sit in that. I would have to sit in that energy for long lengths of time, and then come out, breathe, get some air, cleanse, and then go back in.
Wow.
And so
Wow. Okay.
um,
That really, it's reminding me of the completion process where you go into the emotion to really
mhm,
transform it, which is kind of
transform.
beyond the psychological level, isn't it? That's incredible. And
Yeah,
you
I
know,
think takes care of that. It helps to rewire
right.
all of that brain and all of the emotions. And then, once I release those attachments, then I could separate myself from that reptilian kind of reflex of what do I do? What would I normally do? What would the old self do to take care of it, fix it, whether it was an addiction or, any
Mm.
other kind of thing that wasn't healthy for my path. So
Wow. Amazing. I just one of the things you mentioned was about and something I love from you. You've got an amazing website, by the way. I'll make sure that I put your website link on with the interview, and it's really worth checking out. I love the fact that you say your work is about helping people to remember who they are.
Yes.
Yeah,
we've so forgotten who we are, and that's why we're lost. I mean, a lot of us are lost.
Yeah.
Because I just forgot who I was, and thank God I had somebody to help me to remember. You know, and we have so many tools out there right now with this awakening that's happening in the world to help us remember to reach out to someone, whether it's through a divination or reading, or whether it's through plant medicine, or whether it's through, you know, a spiritual group or meditation, whatever tools. There's so many different tools out there, and not just one path is the right way.
Exactly.
There's so many things to help remind ourselves who we are. The biggest thing that we need is the intention. All we need is the intention to know, hey, I'm not this thing. What am I truly? And with that drive and that will, we'll come into alignment. We'll come into alignment.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Like you said, it's remembering, like, we're not the facade, we're not the label, we're not the illness, you know. There's so much beyond that.
It was beautiful to be able to carry that work into the peer world, into being a peer specialist and a peer counselor.
It's incredible that you've managed to bring this in. Are you still doing that?
Actually, I'm not doing that. I'm doing the Sangoma work full time. So I'm doing the mental health, that aspect of the work in my own way. So I'm able to help people in the more shamanic way, as opposed to sitting at a desk and doing it the other way.
That's amazing. And have you still got links to the mental health system? Have you now got a kind of a reputation where people are sent to you for healing? Or do you see people?
Actually, I have a nice following of people that come for that kind of work, and I can do it in a more shamanic way. I'm actually at a retreat center where I'll be doing peer retreats here on the weekends to gather peers, to rejuvenate, and just to do a self-healing for peers that are working.
That's
still very much part of it, and want to continue to grow in this movement.
That's incredible. That was one of the questions I wanted to ask you, Ekhaya, was about sort of your vision for the future of mental health. And it's like you're kind of really a bridge, aren't you, between, you know, the healing traditions and the ancestral lineage and the mental health system. And that's kind of what I really want to promote. Is not an anti-psychiatry movement. This is just about extending the support and, you know, really offering lots of healing modalities, because every individual needs something different. So what would your vision be for the future, for the ideal, if we could have like an ultimate mental health system? What would it look like to you?
Oh my goodness. You know, my idea is really a part of having a choice. You know, having having a place, a hub where people can go to and say, you know what, I want to try this. I want to try, maybe Tai Chi is what I really would love, or really I need a shamanic experience, or my heritage is Native American. I would really like a Native American person to work with me through this time, or I'm Christian and I need a priest to come at this time. But just really having our system open up to the idea that spirituality is a big part of our nature, and people to accept that. So I could just see a big hub where if you need to go see a medical doctor, things at the same time, or one thing, you know, that you really want to focus on, that opportunity should be available. That people like us should be accessed and available to the world of those who are having these experiences.
Beautiful, beautiful. Like a pick and mix centers around the world.
Yes.
Beautiful, because that's part of supporting people to find their own inner healer, isn't it? It's like they have to have, you know, autonomy and kind of the ability to have to be empowered to work out what's right for them, because nobody knows what's right for the individual apart from themselves.
Yeah, and what resonates with them, because I know that if someone gave me the opportunity to say, hey, you know, instead of this, you know, I know this is not really resonating with you, so how about me, if it was acceptable in
With
this
the
culture to choose something else, I mean, how much earlier would I have got back? Is the connection back? Can you hear me
yeah,
okay?
it's kind of intermittent at the moment, but yeah, I kind of gathered what you were saying there. You're saying
Okay.
how much sooner would people have kind of?
It would have been a different journey.
Yeah,
Not saying I don't regret it at all, but just for those people that come after us and that
yeah,
are experiencing that now, like you're opening the way with this program, and there's so many people and ideas that need to come together to be manifested so that we can save ourselves.
yeah.
Save ourselves.
We can save ourselves. Absolutely, absolutely. Perfect quote of the interview there, I think. Helping people to help to save themselves. Yeah. Would you, just before we finish, would you mind just telling people what you offer now as part of your healing services? So sangomahealing.com is your website.
Yes,
You are
sangomahealing.com.
just blossom, like you're kind of glowing, Ekhaya. It's really interesting to have watched I've been lucky enough to see the whole of your journey through the Crazy Wise film, and just to watch your transition and your whole persona change is just incredible. And it's like to see you now, it's just like you're glowing.
Yes, thank you. It's been such a beautiful journey, and I'm so happy. I'm happier than I could ever imagine that I would be. If someone told me 6 years ago that I'd be here, I'd be like, I'd probably faint
Yeah.
that day, because it's just like a truly a miracle, and I feel so blessed.
Oh, you're
Um,
glowing so much we can hardly see your head. It looks like
the sun has kind of moved.
there's an angel to your left or something.
Yes. So as far as what I do now is I work full time as a traditional healer at Sangoma. So people come and they get a reading, a divination, like I got from my teacher, and I can explore with them what their ancestors are asking for, because we all have a lineage, we all have ancestors, and we all have tradition.
Yeah.
And so connecting them back to, I help people to connect them back to their ancestors, and also to their own inner spirits, and help guide them on their life path and journey. And so we always start with a reading, and then from there, it's kind of like a diagnostic tool. And then we go through with whatever that spiritual prescription is for the person. And so there's usually some type of healing that takes place where they come in for a session, or I'm also available for distant healing and readings, that sort of thing. But it's all done under the umbrella of ancestral healing, because all of our ancestors need something, and so as above, so below.
Yes, yeah, that's fascinating, isn't it? Do you think we are healing patterns for our ancestors as well? It's like this, do you think that's
Absolutely.
part of the shift, the evolutionary shift that's happening at the moment, is we're kind of healing our ancestral lineage?
We absolutely are. And it's so important to tap into that, because, again, as we know, we carry our ancestors in our DNA.
Yeah.
And so their memories live within us. And so their traumas live within us. Their triumphs live within us. Their gifts live within us.
Yeah.
Because without them, we wouldn't have, I'm very artistic. I've always been an artistic person. On the father's side of my family, everybody is an artist.
Right.
All of those people are artists, but I've also took on some of the other things that those ancestors struggle with through their lives. And not only as a healer, of course, you take on that, but even as anyone, we're all healers in our truth. So we need to always check in with our own ancestors to see how they are. Are they in balance in the spiritual realm? Are they out of balance? And what can we do to help cleanse that? You know, the Native Americans here, they talk about how when we are chosen to take care of our ancestors, we heal them 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. So it's a big part of our shift and our conscious shift in spirituality.
Wow. Gosh, there's no wonder we feel the pressure, is there?
No pressure. No pressure.
No, it's beautiful. Just before before, like you were saying, when you're a child and you have this heavy sense of there's something more, I think there is just, like you said, it's just part of the shift, isn't it? And there's more and more people that are kind of experiencing this now. And do you feel that we're at a tipping point now? Are you seeing more and more people coming to you?
Absolutely. There's so many of us that are really on the shift of waking up. It's like all or nothing. We have to find our way. We have to find our healing. We have to find what we need spiritually. So yeah, there are a lot of people coming, and people are very much opening up to seeing and hearing, and being okay with that, and saying, I'm not, I don't think I'm crazy or anything like that. I just see this and I feel this in my spirit. How can I get the help that I need?
Yeah.
And so many people are coming and waking up to this idea of it being in our true nature as opposed to something foreign or off or an abnormality.
Yeah, perfect. That's just the message that we want to give, isn't it? It's about, this isn't an illness. This is something really natural happening to heal the world. And I think, that's the whole aim of this campaign, is to say, just to normalize this so people can work out, like you said, kind of become their own, empower themselves to become their own healer. So yeah, thank you so much for everything you're doing. It's like we can't see, we're blinded by your light now, Ekhaya.
I'm sorry, I was trying to shift the camera, but
it's my way.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. It's a really blessing to be connected to you, and I'm really excited to see where things go.
Thank you so much for having me. And may all the divine spirits just really bless this campaign. May Emerging Proud succeed. I'm here for you, sister, and my prayers and my love and thanks are with you always. And we need more people like you. And so I'm just so proud that you stepped out in the forefront to do this. And anything you need, I'm here.
Likewise. Thank you so much. In solidarity.
Thank you.
Lots of love.
Thank you.
Bye.